Good morning, everyone. I thought I would do a lesson on how to read today and how to see to the root of words. The gematria that you are given online, it's all bullcrap. In true gematria, there are no vowels and double letters are taken away. Let's use a word. Interest. I want you to kind of play Helen Keller, and you got to be deaf, dumb, and blind to everything you've ever been taught. You got to learn to turn off the programming. I like Pluto going through Sagittarius right now, removing old ideologies, because we need to make room for something new. Actually, it's something very, very old. It's just been hidden from us. And interest, something that holds your interest. Interest is also what we get when we have a savings account, or something we have to pay if we have a debit account or a credit account. But interest, you're supposed to enter your rest. When you're reading something or you're listening to some information that holds your attention, it holds your attention. You have interest in it. You are allotting your time to it. Really, all we have to give is our time. That's all we have here is time. It's what are we doing with our time? Are we spending time, wasting time, doing time? Interest, or when you are interested in something, it is invoked from within. You have a curiosity. It gets your attention. You're giving it your time. You're attracted to it for whatever reason. And that's the real key thing, is what is the reason? Because what they want is your interest. Your rest. And we can take our time and we can meditate, or we can be distracted. The word distracted is without traction. You have no traction. That means you need some more tread on your tires. You have no traction. You're spinning your wheels. That's all you're doing. Distraction is you're just spinning your wheels. You need some tracks, some railroad tracks. Stay on the Red Eye Express, really. So interested. Really, the only thing we have there are the N, the T, the R, the S, and the T. In gematria, reverse, like I do Pig Latin, right? You need to do Pig Latin and Pig Latin reverse. Like to pull the sword from the stone is to pull the words from the tones. You take the first letter and you move it to the end. Uye, what is it? Ude, uye, ixpe, igpe, atnoi. You got to learn to reverse that. And also thinking back and forwards. And that's called sowing as the ox plows. So we can take the N and double it. And you can make it enter your rest. You can do this many, many ways, any way you want to, as long as the core is the same. And when there are doubles, like the N, T, R, S, T, if they're side by side, you throw one of them away. But if they're separated by another consonant, all root words consist of syllables. What we have called words are not roots. Root is syllable, and the syllable consists of at least one consonant and two vowels, or two vowels and one consonant. You can ho, or you can O, and that's considered syllable. And we put syllables together to make meanings of a thing we call words. To me, Egypt is Babylon, so the hieroglyphics mean everything. The Egyptian hieroglyphic for magic is W, because it's the double U, it's the other U. The Romans used the letter U look like this. So a W was this instead of this. And the sign of Aquarius, is it this or is it this? Right? Are you starting to see what I'm saying here? Because it's the W. And then you have the magic circle. The W makes the circle magic. The W makes the circle magic. And then you have the RD, the Ra and the Da. And the D is also the T. Because that's why you have to be Helen Keller. Because in sign language, it's one thing. But when you're talking about reading lips, read my lips, the D, the way the letters are made in the mouth, the D, the T, the B, the V, the P, the B also with the F, the B, the P, the F, the V, the D, the T, all these stop. They all work the same way in the mouth. And they all have one root. Then we have letters like M, R, Z, they continue on. They're considered eternal, to where these stop, right? These can carry on. As long as you have breath, you can keep making these sounds. These are sounds of motion and energy. But we get we get watts. What? That's a ATT, not the H. We get watts. We get volts. The V does it as well. Because we get the VW. The U and the W. The U and the W. Because we're divided, we're fragmented. We have a left brain and a right brain. And then we have our conscious and our subconscious. We have our lower conscious and our higher conscious. We're fragmented, we're divided, we're in duality. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When you talk about the tree of life, you're talking about the three pillars, which are the three crosses. There are three crosses in the heavens, three crosses in Coalgate, three pillars in the temple. And you have the sun pillar, the moon pillar, and then they like to give you what they call it the black sun, or the eclipse, where the two come together when you make the two one, but that's not the middle pillar. That's just a balanced pillar that's pulling those two together. Before I go any further with this, I want to stop and say something about the eclipse. When you're talking about the fixed cross, you're talking about Fomalhaut and Regulus, you're talking about Aldebaran and Antares. In the book of Revelations, we're told about the creature in heaven. He has the face of a man, Aries, the feet of a lion, the face of a lion, Leo, the face of an ox, Taurus, and the face of an eagle, which is Scorpio. And we know that that's older than the Greco-Roman, because it used to be an eagle. Now it's a scorpion. So we know it's older than the zodiac they give us. The book of Revelation is much older than what we're told. I can tell just by what time frame it comes from, by the images. Tell you when and where it comes from. Now, when you talk about the crucifixion of Jesus, the nails that are in his hands and feet, the nails that are in his hands are the stars of Aldebaran and Antares, and the star that is, the nail that is in his feet is Regulus in Leo. Those are the three nails, and then he has on the crown of thorns, right? So, when you talk about the eclipse last year, it was the sun, the moon, and in Regulus. There was an eclipse in the nail at the feet of the crucifixion. I can't, and it happened in the United States, and I can't tell you, because number one, when the Messiah was crucified, the sky went black at his crucifixion. Did you hear it? We just put the nail in his feet. The nail was just driven in his feet that day. That's what I'm telling you. And that this is not, these two pillars coming together is not the middle pillar. It is independent of them. In that day you'll have no need of the sun or the moon, for I will be with you. You have no idea how significant the eclipse was last year because of where it happened. And it's going to happen again. There is going to be a reprisal of this same eclipse where the X marks the spot in Paducah, Kentucky. I need to do more research on that one, but it's Middle America, right? Right in the middle of America, this big X. But we just drove the nail in the foot of the Messiah, is what that represents. The sky went dark in the nail and his feet. I mean, how significant is that if you can really see the big picture and what's really going on? The pillar of severity and the pillar of mercy. That's what they tell us. But all the evil magic comes from the moon. This is the power magic. They want the power. That's the volts. They say Om to the sun, right? That's Om. That's the frequency of the sun. It's electric. Woo. And then you have the moon. You have a 110 volt and you have a 220 volt. The 110 looks like this, two little holes. The 220 has got the third eye, so you get more volts. I think we're all, I call us double A's. You got to have a pair of double A's. This is what we're running on, okay? That's why you're 11, 11. 1, 1, 1, 1. That's two double A's. That's where we're at. And we need to be at a 220 outlet. And we're running on, really, are we on borrowed time? Saturn just went retrograde. I call that borrowed time. You get extra time. Time is giving you time. Turning back time. Saturn retrograde. You get to do it again. Rolling back the years. Rolling back time. Time quakes. I've done all these videos about time. Find them on Inside 33 Archive. The three pillars. We know the middle pillar. It's the crown chakra. They're the three power pillars, right? They're the three different ways. We've been told AC, alternating current and direct current. AC, DC. That's what we get. AC, DC. Alternating current or direct current. There's another way. And it's an inner current. I don't even know how to explain it. It's all around us. You can just draw it out of the air. We're moving into the age of air, which is the age of heaven. We are the heirs. We're the heirs. You got to put on airs. It's really strange to be the way they meld the languages. It's all, and they use the dolphin so much. And a dolphin, well, let's do it this way. Dolphin, and then there's dolphin. I-N, dolphin. This one's the fish. This one says dolphin, because the L is kind of silent here. We don't say dolphin, we say dolphin. And the L kind of disappears. But this comes from the French word. It's a French word. And we would say du fond. Du fond. And that means heir to the throne. And that's why the dolphin has the name he does. Why did they call him a dolphin? Because he's the heir to the throne. Why? Because he's the fish. I'll make you fishers of men. Well, men need to be fishers of fish. The dolphin is the fish that comes out of the water into the air. He jumps out of the water. Flying dolphins, they spin. We're moving from the age of water, Pisces, into the age of air. And it's also a fish in the age of Capricorn Aquarius. It's the dolphin, the heir to the throne. Aquarius, all the stars in Aquarius in Arabic are called the king's stars. Aquarius is not the water bearer there. He's more than that. He's the king. He's the coming king. He's Thalem, the lamb, the teacher, the master. It's about the whole age. Jesus is not a person. He is a when. He's not a who. He's a when. He's a where. We're asking the wrong questions because we've been programmed. You've been given all the information, but you've been given bad interpretations. Don't throw the Bible away. Read it with new eyes. Read it with alchemical eyes. Know that when you see the word world, that just means a segment of time, an age, not the earth. When you see earth, it means also a when. Are we talking Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo? Its attributes, its characteristics will tell you if it's fixed, mutable, solid. I mean, fixed, mutable, cardinal, which is solid, liquid, gas. Everything is related to everything else. Everybody's running around in a frenzy right now. Don't be frenzied. You need to find your inner rest. Don't be distracted. Keep your traction. Get some treads on. Don't spin your wheels. Stop and breathe and look up. You're being distracted with the stars in the black box that tell you lies. The stars in the heavens tell you the truth if you don't listen to the lies of the black box. Thessalonians, for that cause God will send them strong delusion to cause them to believe a lie. The day, everybody's waiting on Jesus to come back. Why are you waiting on that day? Amos and Joel and even Thessalonians all tell you it's a day of darkness. It's a day of reckoning, but it's also a brand new day. And everything will be balanced. That's why you will reap what you sow. Grace, mercy, gone. Gone. You will get what you're worth. You will get what you earn. And you'll get to keep it. But there'll be no slackers there. There'll be no free rides. There'll be no nepotism. It will be based on merit. How do you spend your time? What you put in it is what you'll get out of it. Now, we expect that today, but you have to realize we're not there yet. We're still the dolphin jumping up out of the water, and then we splash back down in it. We go from karma, what you reap, what you sow, back into grace and mercy. And that's like oil and water. You can shake them up and make some salad dressing, but they don't mix. And eventually the oil, the anointing, rises above the water. That oil above floats on top of the water. Hurt not the oil and the wine, the anointing and the spirit. The wine is the spirit, and the oil is the anointing. Christos. Christ means anointing. You christen, Christ, you anoint. It means the anointed cross. That's what it means. Christ is the anointed cross. The fixed cross, the crucified Messiah, the crucified King, the crucified Master. He was of two lineages, right? So he's a priest and he's a king. Thalem, when you say the word rabbi, you're saying Thalem. When you say the word master, you're saying Thalem, which is the lamb. So in one tradition, he's the king, and in the other tradition, he's the priest. So he comes from two tribes, Judah and Levi. It's all there. The book is true. You just have to put it to the stars to read it and stop listening to astrologers who are using traditions of men and frickin' don't know anything about alchemy. Because the stars are alchemy, alchemy's the stars, period. It's a great big magic circle, and it's doing its magic on all of us. A lot of people want to get out. We're here to learn. If you get out, you're just going to have to come back and do it again. So why not just stop wasting your time, spending your time, doing your time, and get busy and get the job done. Do your homework. Look within. Look above. Look at what nature and God created for your answers. I have written it in it's written in the stars. Go learn to read the stars. And you know, a lot of people want me to teach. I'm giving this knowledge the best way I can. Let me tell you, it's about the journey. You're going to love this one. The journey. Before I tell you what journey means, I want to talk about what your journey is. And we're always looking for someone else to open the door. Look, the teacher shows up when the student's ready. A lot of people are way ahead of themselves, and they want stuff they're not ready for. That door's not gonna open for you until you're able to handle what's behind it. When new doors in the esoteric realm were opened, great losses occur in your life because it comes in conflict with your paradigms, your belief systems. Everything changes, and you could possibly lose everything if you don't know how to juggle it, to balance it all. It's much easier to delve into these, one, when you have the time to put into it. And the more interested you become in it, the more dedicated you are to it, the less time you're spending with the rest of your life, with your friends, with your family, with your work. And this, when you go in deep, it becomes all-consuming. And when you're ready, the door will simply appear in front of you. The opportunity will just be there. A lot of times, if we have that Uranus retrograde in our natal charts, we will be rebellious against that change, and it can become destructive at that point. So sometimes it's better to rebel. It's your journey. So you must be prepared. You must be prepared to walk the path and not expect others to give you the answers. It's your journey. It will reveal itself to you and you alone. Your journey will not be revealed to me or anybody else on the particulars level. It is simply there for you. It's an experience, and only you can do it. The experience is the journey. And when you're ready and you really want it, it will just simply happen. A lot of you want to meditate, and I want to open my third eye now. You know what? You're not ready, or it would already happen. You have to get ready. You have to take, how are you spending your time? You have to prepare for this. And a lot of it is homework, because it has to do with understanding. If you open your third eye and you are not prepared for what happens, and then you're not going to understand it, and it can be completely misinterpreted. I did not understand it when it first happened to me. I accepted it. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I thought it was the only thing ever worth having, ever, ever, ever. It was the pearl of great price. I want it back. I don't ever want to let it go. I'll sell everything for it. I'll give everything away for it. To have that forever, just take it and run away with it. And then when you find the truth of it, that it is you, it's your higher self, so you're wanting you. The J is the Y. You can reverse it. The J is the Y. It's your journey. It's your journey. Ni is Capricorn. And Capricorn is the god of let there be. So your journey is your God. Your journey is your God. That's what you're serving. Your journey is your God. That's why the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Your natal chart is your ruler. It's your story. They're giving us they put us on the wrong cross, and we're playing somebody else's story. This is a big masquerade. Everybody in the black box, everybody in government, everybody in politics, everybody in military, everybody in religion, they've all got on costumes. And it's a big masquerade, because that's not who they are. It's just a costume. Well, our lives are like that. Our body is just a costume. We're in a masquerade party. This is not really me. When you look at me, that's not me. I'm inside of here. This is just a costume party. We're at the masquerade ball. I grew up part of my youth in Mobile, Alabama, and it was where Mardi Gras officially started, way before New Orleans. Joe Kane showed up, and so I understand the mask thing, the Mardi Gras, the charade, the masquerade, and what it's all about. And sometimes, and here's what you learn, if you realize when you're behind a mask, like Halloween, they put the kids in the mask, you can be trickster and you do what's really inside of you because you think nobody can see you and you can get away with it. That's why the burglar puts on the mask. They put on the ski mask so they can hide their identity, so they can be, the real them comes out. Like Antifa, they put on all the masks. They don't want you to see who they really are, right? They're masking. Well, we're coming to a time where all the masks are coming off. Yeah, we're going to be able to see right through people. I can do it now. I've always been able to do it, but everybody's going to be able to do it. The veil is lifting. All these heavy metals and shit, drinking out of cans and even plastics and all of this loads you up. It's like a barrier. Fasting is so important. It's not really what you put in your body, because if you fast, you can get it out. But over long periods of time, like people who drink beers out of cans every day. People used to drink everything out of a clay pot. Clay is what Adam's made of. So that clay there's minerals and riches and nourishments in it, not poisons and heavy metals. Some bloodlines, the metals are fine, but other bloodlines, it's devastating to them. Some people that are not negative bloodlines and they wear a bunch of copper jewelry, you're going to end up with copper poisoning because your DNA isn't designed to flush that out. It doesn't know how to use the copper. It uses iron, which conducts electricity in a different way. Intuitive people tend to be the negative bloodlines because they're copper based. And if you check the wiring where your TV plugs into the wall, it's copper. That's why they're more intuitive and tend to be psychics and empaths and more connected to the spiritual world. It's the difference between the voltage. Iron is a completely different metal. You can get shocked electrically through iron. It will, but it can't carry data. You wouldn't want to make your wires out of iron. It just wouldn't work. It rusts. It decays. Oxygen decays iron. So oxygen is what really kills everything here. If you want to preserve something, all you got to do is hermetically seal it away from oxygen. And that's funny because Taurus is the ox, and the symbol for man, right? Why? He's the ox. Orion, the man, and the ox. The man and the ox. The oxy. And that is the elemental table for oxygen is OXY. We're oxygen people. From the age of Earth, Taurus. You know, when the sun moves through the sky, as it moves through the constellations, around the constellations, and every time it moves, it changes polarities. And that's where we're at. We're in the change of polarities, but it's kind of jumping back and forth because the Earth wobbles. And it takes us, I've told you, 216 years to move through this. The Earth moves 72 years for 1 degree. So 72 years on one side, 72 years on the other, 72 years here is 216 degrees, which leaves 144 out of the circle, by the way. This is the number for the Jews. When you're between ages, we're between water and air. So we're between ages. So they're serving the God between two ages. His number is 216. When you take him away, you're left with the 144K, which is per thousand. 144K. So you have to remove the two ages, and that's removing the bottom part, which is this, because we're moving into this. They're making you hate this, and they're invoking that. Did you hear what I just said? You stop it, back it up, and listen to it again. Because I just told you everything that's going on. And why it's going on. Because we're moving from a negative polarity to a positive polarity. We've been in a matriarchal position, but it's a bunch of dudes in dresses. Dude look like a lady. Everybody's in costumes. Pisces is the age of illusion. Illusion's coming down. It never was the illusion Mayan calendar. It's the Aztec calendar, and it belongs to the age of Aquarius. So you're not going to be walking like an Egyptian, and you're not going to be in a Mayan illusion. We're going Aztec. That's where we're going. Because it's South America. The left wants to shift, and the bankers want to shift the power to China. Wrong answer. Not yet. It's going there. But for the age of Pisces, which is Europe, the Vatican to fall, the next to rise is not China. They were mistaken. They want to bypass the next two ages. North America relates to Capricorn. South America relates to Aquarius. Peru, Lima, Peru means the house of the master, or thalem. The limb. Per lim. House of Thalem. It's the house of the master. And what's the next town up? Cusco. We moved from, check this out. Check out how this works. All this is done numerically and alphabetically. We've been in the age of the church. It's called KRK. CH, 3 and 8 make 11. A K is 11, C is 3, H is 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. They have the same value. CH has the same value. In the, is it Scottish, Gaelic, whatever, it's a Kirk. That's why it's Captain Kirk, because he's the captain of the church of the New Age in space. He's the Kirk. Well, we're moving from a KRK to a KSK. Cusco. They've got you at Caracas. Go around the world and look at these names and think about what I'm telling you about Gematria. Learn to look at this, hear it, read it. Dump all that damn programming and shit they taught you in school, because it's there to distract you, to make you spin your wheels. You ain't got to believe and be in the age of grace anymore. You can be in the kingdom, and you can stop spinning your wheels, and you can know. You don't have to have blind faith. We don't have to be Helen Keller anymore. We can rip the veil down ourselves if we will spend our time paying attention and doing our homework, carrying our cross. Take it up daily and look up. Download Stellarium. Learn to do this for yourself. It's your journey. And don't forget to be as kind as you possibly can along the way, because your destination will land you in the law of equivalent exchange. Be careful what you wish for, because that's exactly what you're going to get.